building a better Bay Area for a safe and secure future. This is ABC 7 News.
I'm Kristen Z. Welcome to our daily program called Getting Answers. Coming up, we'll talk with a Contra Costa County supervisor after the big reopening announcement that came this morning. So post your questions on our Facebook live stream, YouTube Live, or check out our Instagram stories to submit a question. Remember, this is about Contra Costa County. But first, demonstrations and marches took place all over the Bay Area once again this past weekend, and millions of people saw this one. Marchers took over the Golden Gate Bridge on Saturday, and this footage here went worldwide. So joining us today are the two teenage organizers and instant best friends, 17-year-old Tiana Day and 19-year-old Mimi Zoila. Thank you both, Mimi and Tiana, for joining us today.
Hi, guys. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
Of course. Thank you for making the time. I know it was a tiring weekend. And when I checked in with you before the show, I was like, how long have you two been best friends? And the shocking answer you guys gave me was?
2 days. Yeah. The morning of the protest we met.
Okay. So give us the backstory. How did you guys meet and how did you become instantly united and bonded in this cause? Who wants to start?
So, honestly, I was just looking for someone to lead. Obviously, we needed someone from the Black community to represent the movement as a whole. I had already organized everything. All the logistics were ready. And then I just put out on social media, hey, I would love for someone to lead us. Like, please let me know if you're willing. And she reached out right away. It was really easy.
Yeah. Tiana, you didn't hesitate. Tell me why you felt like, yep, I'm diving right in. I'm doing this.
So a few days prior, I actually helped out with the Santa Ramon protest, and I'm from Santa Ramon. That's my community, and it was really inspiring to see how many people came out. So when I saw her post for the Golden Gate Bridge, I was like, this is such a huge tourist place. This is going to be an amazing protest, and what better place to lead, especially both of us being like, you know, youth leaders, than to go to the Golden Gate Bridge. So I definitely wanted to help her out with that.
Okay, so Tiana, you are from San Ramon, right?
Yeah.
And Mimi, where are you from?
Marin County.
Okay, so you decided to do this. Who went about, dealing with the logistics? Like, did you get a permit?
Yeah, honestly, it started as a small idea. I didn't even know if they were going to answer me. I just went on goldengate.org and you just sign up for a permit. They were so sweet and so supportive. Honestly, like the sweetest people ever, and it was really easy. And also, we had to make sure that everything was up to guidelines. Everybody was wearing a mask. Everybody was very safe.
Okay.
And we also just want to add in that we also marched with police. They were also joining us. You know, it was very, very peaceful. There was no one got hurt. No one was like violent. It was such a peaceful protest. It was beautiful. And we're all in support of police. You know, they support us, we support them, and we're working together to end police brutality.
You know, I think that is such an important message. I did notice watching the video, which was super moving, that there were a lot of signs that, call for peace and were decrying violence, because we had seen that in other cities. But you two were determined that this one was going to be all about positivity, right? Was that important to you?
I think a big part of it was that just the idea of people from all over, people from different backgrounds, no matter what, came together and showed support for each other, no matter where you're from, no matter what you look like.
Hey, I got to ask you, though, it was super peaceful, and that part was great, and there was people of all colors, and police were right there with you. It did stop traffic, and some people on social are posting about that. Did you ever intend to bring the bridge to a halt? And what do you say to the folks who say, hey, that was an inconvenience for us?
Well, the permit was just for the sidewalk, but I believe that once I was off the bridge, I thought, honestly, we had no idea how many people were going to show up. The permit was originally for 50 to 300 people, and thousands of people showed up. It was amazing. So once we were off, there were still people trying to get on, and I think that it was just such an overload of people that they had to.
Yeah, we also want to add in that we did not join in on getting onto the bridge, because that's not what we were standing for. We did not intend to stop any traffic or create anything bigger with our protest. Yeah, any disturbances. We definitely wanted to keep it peaceful and keep it moving. So we did watch from the side, but after a while, once we started watching people jump onto the bridge, we dismissed ourselves and we just kind of gathered our little group together and started talking to other people down at Chrissy Fields.
little group. It turned out to be not so little. By the way, I just have to say, you two are...
our immediate friends.
Yeah.
Okay, did you realize you two are finishing each other's sentences in this interview like you've known each other way longer than just a few days?
We're connected at the heart.
You really are. You're like sisters, which this is just amazing. I got to ask you each, what was your favorite moment from that day? Tiana, you want to start?
Oh my gosh. My favorite moment, I think, would have to be, so I was leading the crowd, obviously. I had a little sign that says lead with love. That's what we kind of stand for. Both of us together have agreed on. Like, that's our slogan. We want to definitely continue to keep leading with love. And we walked under the underpass, under the bridge to get to the other side. And just getting up under those stairs and getting on the other side and just seeing 2 miles the entire way back of the Golden Gate Bridge, just filled with people. We had no idea. There were so many people behind us, you know, in support of our movement. And it was just, I just remember looking to her and looking at my dad and being like, look what we just did. Oh my gosh, look at how many people are here. Like, this was us in the past 24 hours. Like, I was just so shocked.
I think a big part of it was that with the virus going on, with all the violence that's happened with this protest, I think at the end of the day, just seeing the love and everybody coming together was just the most beautiful part of it.
And everyone was wearing masks as well. So we were very in support of the whole COVID, you know, keeping distance and the social distancing, making sure everyone was wearing masks. That was a requirement we had on our flyer that we passed out.
Right, and everybody listen, imagine that, you guys, that's awesome. Tiana, did you make any speeches before or during or after the protest? Can you talk a little bit about what you said?
Yeah, so I spoke in the beginning of the protest, just thanking everyone for coming. Again, in the beginning, it was not that big, so we didn't know that there's that many people. It was just like a nice big crowd, but it wasn't that big with thousands of people. I just kind of touched on a story that really touched me. It was about a girl named Ayanna Jones from Detroit, and she was killed by police brutality. They basically threw a flash bomb grenade into her window. It caught fire, and as she woke up, she was sleeping in the living room with her grandmother. And as she woke up, a SWAT team had shot a bullet through her neck, killing her. And she was only 7 years old. This was also in 2010, so 10 years ago. And I just related that story to how I'm 17 now, and I would have never thought that if I was 7, I would have never said, like, when I grow up, I want to be alive. But most Black boys and Black girls nowadays say, when I grow up, I want to be alive and I want to reach 18 and I want to go to graduation. And to me, that's just completely unfair, because we should all have an equal chance at growing up and being able to, you know, live out our dreams and not having them end so early due to things like police brutality, racism, and violence.
I read a little bit about your upbringing, Tiana, and you grew up in San Ramon, in a fairly wealthy suburb, and you were not every day subjected to that kind of condition. But you did see it play out in your father's life, didn't you, and his interaction with police? Can you talk a little about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So my dad grew up part San Francisco, part Richmond, mainly in Richmond. And today, actually, as we were driving up, or not today, yesterday, as we were driving up to meet Mimi, we were in El Cerrito, and my dad passed by. We passed by the street, and he goes, I remember getting pulled over here when I was your age. And I was like, really? And he's like, yeah, the police made me take every single thing out of my car, and me and my friend had to wait on the sidewalk for 45 minutes while they just raided our car, insisting there was drugs. And when they found nothing after like 45 minutes to an hour, they just said, okay, well, have a nice day. And they just left all of his stuff out of his car, thrown out on the sidewalk. You know, they had to pick it up. It was dark, it was late, and they were only about 17 or 18. So they had to put all this stuff back in their car.
Our age.
Yeah, they're literally our age. And that was kind of a realization moment for me. Like, wow, I'm so grateful that he has worked so hard. I've mentioned before, my dad works 5 jobs to keep my family in the place that we are right now in San Ramon, so I don't have to grow up around somewhere where they're so racist and they're so anti-Black. So I'm just really grateful that he's given us that opportunity, me and my sisters, to meet with other people who have better quality of life. So I don't have to face those same experiences he did when he was growing up.
Yeah, in fact, we're going to meet your dad after we take a short break on the air. But right now, Mimi and Tiana, let's continue this conversation over on our live stream platforms. Be right back. All right, we are in break, but we're still on Facebook Live, where, as you know, the conversation never stops. Hey, we just want to pass along a couple messages to you guys, Mimi and Tiana, from our viewers. Dana Draghetti says, amazing young women, 3 hearts. Christina has God bless, heart. And Omar says, I was there, Black Lives Matter. And I know, all these people just saying, oh, here we go. Lord willing, all generations can stop arguing and come together like you two, from Christina Ambrose. Oh, you guys are just too adorable, off the charts. I kid you not. Can you bring your dad in now so that when we come back on air, he'll be ready to go? Q Tiati. Is he nearby? Is he ready to come join us?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, there you are. Hi, Tiati. You must be super proud of your daughter.
Yes, I am very proud of both of my daughters.
I know, right? You didn't know. I really love that. This is a fantastic story. Have you met Mimi's family yet?
Yeah,
Yes,
my mom's right here.
Come here, Mom.
Oh, well,
Mom.
Mimi's mom should join as well.
Yeah,
Mom, come on, you're okay.
come on, Mom.
She's a little camera shy.
Oh, is she? Oh, come on. Come on, just say hello real quick. You did a great job with Mimi. Hi there.
How are you? I'm Michelle.
Michelle, so nice to meet you. Facebook friends, now you're meeting the 2 great parents behind these 2 great girls who have poured so much of their heart and love into this cause and made something happen here in the Bay Area that the whole world saw. All right, we're coming back on air in 20 seconds, so hang tight, everybody.
Should my mom stay on or should she go off?
Oh, whatever you like. Michelle, do you want to stay just for a moment? That would be great.
Sure, I'll stay for a
Okay.
minute. Why not? 15
We're
seconds.
our glasses on.
You were like, oh no. Really?
Yeah. Wait, Dad, you didn't, like, make it...
And we are back on air with the organizers of the Golden Gate Bridge protest over the weekend. You saw that huge march that took over the whole bridge at one point. 17-year-old Tiana Day, who's now joined by her father, Tiati, and Tiana's friend, 19-year-old Mimi Zoila, who organized it all, and Mimi's mom, Michelle. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Tiati. Congratulations. You did a great job with the girls separately.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I assume since the girls have become so close, the families as well now, I bet, right?
We're all friends.
We're all a family now.
That is terrific. Tiana, I want to ask you, because before the break, I talked to Tiana about the fact that she saw the things that you had to go through with police, and yet you are not anti-police at all. You made that very clear during the march. Talk to me about that, Tiana.
Wait. I wanted to say that I know police officers personally. I have my cousin is a police officer in Florida. Mm-hmm. So there are definitely police officers that are trying to do a great thing. I've seen cops like kneeling with protesters, protesting with them. But I think it's more of a systematic issue and a bigger issue.
I have to say that I think the police are wonderful. Most of all police officers are wonderful, and we need them in our world. This is just that's like Mimi said. She said it best, and that's the reason. Yeah. It's not against police at all. We're for them, and we love working with them, and we need them in our society more than anything.
Just needs to change. Yeah.
But Tiati, what kind of change do you envision if we talk about reform, right? Systematic and systemic changes to the police department in its interaction with oftentimes people of color, especially African Americans. What do you think needs to happen?
Well, we need to revamp our system. We need to revamp the way that we teach our officers. First of all, we need to get more training. I'm a barber. You have to go through more hours to become a barber in this state than you are to be a police officer. So it is serious that you need to be able to understand that they have to have different types of training. I started a movement back from the Rodney King trial. So I used to meet with Police Chief Louis Covarrubias. That's in San Jose. I was a student at San Jose State, and Les White was the city manager. We had a grassroots organization that worked with the police department to bridge the gap between the community and the police department. This gap that we bridged also helped the San Jose Police Department to have more minority policemen. One of my fraternity brothers, I'm in Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity, is Jermaine Thomas. Jermaine Thomas is the spokesman for the San Jose Police Department. I'm not sure if it's current or past, but he was the spokesman for that department. We have Abraham Raouf. He's a sergeant in the San Jose Police Department. We're not anti-police. We love the police. We know their job is dangerous. We know that every single day they go out there and put their lives on the line to protect us, the citizens.
We have the deepest respect for them.
Yeah.
The problem
The
is
good ones.
right, the problem is the abuse of force, the abuse of their power, the police brutality. When there's someone that doesn't have a weapon and they're not a danger to anyone else, then that's where we have the issue. When they use too much force, if me or you or any other citizen kills somebody, we'll be held accountable. If you're a police officer, you need to be held accountable for your actions. That's where we need to change the law so that police are held accountable for their actions.
Tiati, what do I think you will be a part of that conversation in the months to come? Thanks for putting that so eloquently. I do want to shift gears a little bit because we only have a couple minutes left, but there was a very beautiful moment during that march, and I don't know, Mimi and Tiana, if you saw that. The proposal, the marriage proposal, right?
Oh,
Quinn and Carrie.
I want that.
Were you right there when it happened? Do you know them now?
No,
We
we
didn't know.
wish. We saw it on social media, and I was like, oh my gosh, I texted her actually last night, and I sent her the video, like, oh my gosh, could you imagine, like, someone woke up in the morning, like,
Saw our post.
we see this post, we see the Golden Gate thing, and we're gonna go to this protest, and I'm gonna propose to my girlfriend. Like, our hearts were so warm seeing that.
Also, the fact that it was a white woman and a black man.
Yeah, interracial marriage.
I think these girls created so much love with what they did, and I think that's just, that happening is just showing so much of it because it was such an emotional thing, and your heart gets so big.
And there they are. They're so adorable, and clearly you created the perfect environment and feeling for them. That's so awesome. Hey, one last question, and that's where do you guys go from here, right? You created this march. It went viral. What are the next steps that you each envision taking, Mimi and Tiana, to advance a cause you believe so deeply in?
Yeah, so basically, me and my dad here, we started a nonprofit. It's called Youth Advocates for Change. You can follow it on Instagram. That's the name of it. We're working on a website right now, and basically we're going to be advocating for all youth social justice problems. So we really feel like the power is in the youth. We are the generation that will change, 400 years of oppression, but as well as advocate for women's rights, sexual abuse victims. We want to advocate for LGBTQ, all cultures, all races, and really unify as one and fight for equality of all people, because that's the overall message. Again, we're leading with love and helping each other. Mimi also is going to help me so much with this.
On the board.
Yeah, we're going to be on the board together. We're super excited to launch this program. The Instagram's already up. We have a GoFundMe up to help provide scholarships for Black students who aren't given the same opportunities as a white student would, for also different minority groups. And we're really excited for this project to take flight. So if you guys watching at home want to come support that, please go support that on Instagram.
The GoFundMe.
Yeah, the GoFundMe as well, but the Instagram is Youth Advocates for Change.
All right, Tiana Day, Mimi Zoila, and their lovely parents. Two big happy families now coming together as one, and I cannot wait to see the things that you will do in the months ahead. Look at you two. Look at you two. All right. Thank you so much. Congratulations and best to you guys. Bye. All right, we're going to take a short break on the air, and coming up next, we're going to shift gears again and talk about some big changes in Contra Costa County, talking to a supervisor about reopening the next step, taking a short break on the air. All right, folks, our next guest will be Supervisor Candace Anderson of Contra Costa County, because earlier today, Contra Costa County sort of became the first Bay Area county to announce a date for entering phase 3 of reopening. I'm just going to double check with my producer as we show you some of the things that are included in this phase. Eric, there is no other county in the Bay Area that has been this specific about a date yet on this, right? Okay. Right, again. Sure, yeah. not counting Napa, Sonoma, and they've been a little more ahead, if you will, due to their a little bit more rural nature, little less urban in fewer cases. But in terms of the 6 in the Bay Area that have been kind of together in lockstep in terms of their timing, Contra Costa County first to announce the next stage of reopening on July 1st, pardon me. And then you can see some of the items, events, activities, businesses that will be open. So Candace Anderson, supervisor, will be joining us. Hi there.
Hi there. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much. Thanks for making the time. May I just ask you about your virtual background?
Sure, yes. That is the Tassajara Valley, part of the district.
Okay. Can we ask you to wear headphones? Is that what you're saying, Eric? My producer is saying. Oh, yes. We're hearing my feedback, reverberation. So if you could wear headphones, that would be helpful.
AirPods and
yeah.
Get them linked in real quick.
Yep. Let's see how that goes. Well, I'm still hearing myself, though, Eric. Oh, okay.
I think she has to change settings.
You got to change settings? What does she need to do? Can you talk to her as well, Dave? 10 seconds back on air. Welcome back. Contra Costa County today. Welcome back. Contra Costa County today became the first Bay Area county in the 6 counties that have been a consortium to announce a date for entering phase 3 of reopening. So by July 1st, the county will allow the reopening of indoor dining, bars, indoor religious services, gyms and fitness centers, limited indoor leisure, indoor museums, and hotels. So joining us now to talk about this move is Contra Costa County Supervisor Candace Anderson. Supervisor Anderson, how are you doing? All right, hang tight with us, folks. We're gonna just make sure her audio is up.
Yeah, we don't hear.
We're not hearing you right now, so if you can kindly change your setting, that would be fantastic.
Okay.
There you are.
Can you
I got you now.
Okay.
I got you now, and I'd like you to tell me where you are based on your Zoom virtual background.
This is the Tassajara Valley in unincorporated Danville, part of my Contra Costa supervisorial district.
Such a beautiful area there. I got to ask you, do you support the timeline of this move?
I do. I think the citizens, the residents of Contra Costa County have been taking this coronavirus very, very seriously. They've gotten very good at figuring out what they need to do to be safe, which is social distancing, wearing a mask in public, not going out if they're not feeling well, and washing their hands, not touching their face. And so as we are able to restore so many parts of not only our economy, but our quality of life, residents are anxious for this, but I think they're also willing to continue with the very important guidelines that make this possible and keep it safe.
Mm-hmm. I know you watch the numbers, the cases in the county, probably like a hawk. I had to look it up. But 2 days ago, on June 6th, Contra Costa County reported 56 new cases, the single biggest day for new cases in the county since the pandemic started about 3 months ago. And looking at the past week, definitely a bump compared to early May when it was more quiet. Does that give you pause?
Not really, only because we are doing so much more testing. So we would expect to have more positive tests coming forward. And so we're looking forward to making sure that those individuals don't end up in the hospital, that our hospitals don't end up being impacted because of this. And right now, we want the positives to be below 5%. Mm-hmm. And right now, they're hovering around 4% positive. If they start going higher than that, then that would give us cause for concern.
Okay. Can you explain, what does limited indoor leisure include? What are some of the places?
Well, that would be something like a bowling alley, a pool hall, billiards. It might be something such as an arcade where a family could go in together, but there would still need to be, 1, the masking, and 2, the social distancing. And so many of those businesses, perhaps a bowling alley, maybe they'll have to have every other lane in service if they don't already have 6 feet between them. So it's not going to be going back to normal. It's a new normal.
Okay. This past weekend, of course, Contra Costa County did reopen outdoor dining as well as some other things. And we have some video of a restaurant. It's Locanda Ravello, actually, in Danville. I don't know if you've ever been there. But
it is one of my favorite restaurants, a half a block from my office. Indeed.
Oh, okay. Enzo, right? The most hospitable
yes.
owner and host. Yes, I know him well myself.
Absolutely.
And it looks like everybody is socially distanced. The tables are far apart, and the waiters are all wearing masks. Did you go out yourself? How do you think things went?
I was out. I still did take out. I'm still a little bit cautious, but I was in actually downtown Danville, and for the most part, I saw people doing what they needed to do. And many of our businesses throughout Contra Costa, especially our restaurants, have been working with their chambers, with their cities to be prepared so that moment where we said, okay, you can do outdoor dining, they already had a plan in place to begin operations.
Okay. So I know some other things also reopened, right? This past weekend, outdoor pools, dog parks, outdoor religious services, and single family camping. So I'm wondering, for all these things, are inspectors from the county actually going out there to check for compliance, or is it just self-monitoring?
It's really city by city. And so while the county issues the health order, each city is in charge of enforcing it. And most of our police departments have chosen to really approach it as an educational, not issuing citations unless there was an actual danger taking place. And so we're finding that, again, most people are taking this seriously. They recognize that we're opening things up, but we very easily could see a surge as we're seeing in other communities, and so we need to be cautious.
Okay, we have two Facebook questions coming in. One asking about playgrounds, when do they reopen, and another asking about nail salons.
Yeah, and those we're waiting for the state. And while we can keep up with the state, which was really the goal of our most recent health orders this past week and going forward, we're not allowed to start opening things that the state has not yet authorized. And they right now have not given us a date or guidelines for either of those. And we're looking forward to those being open. Playgrounds are a wonderful way, and we're finding that studies are showing if you're outside, the chances of being infected are so far less than if you're indoors. But right now, the state has not yet opened that up for us.
Okay, we are out of time, but I just want to confirm, but on June 17th, you will open some more businesses, right? Allowing hair salons and barbershops to reopen.
Yes, and we're all very excited about that.
Okay.
Some of us have not had a haircut.
Yeah, exactly. Supervisor Anderson, thank you so much. We're going to take a short break on the air and ask her one more question over on our Facebook Live right now about schools. So join us over there if you want. Be right back. All right, Supervisor Anderson, we have a couple more minutes, and I just want to ask you, I'm sure you're working closely with the various school districts and checking up on what their plans are for reopening. Are you getting a sense for, you know, what kind of a schedule and what kind of a hybrid model or, you know, quarter versus semester system are the schools in your area kind of talking about and considering?
Yes, absolutely. Each school district is going to be defining exactly how they want to implement what the state is authorizing. And we also are fortunate to have a Contra Costa County Office of Education headed up by Lynn Mackey, who has been working to come up with some unifying guidelines. I think the biggest challenge is that we're trying to keep classrooms still a little bit smaller than they typically were, but that's a challenge if you have a split day for working parents. It's also a challenge for our transportation system when you're trying to get children to and from school if you have two different open start times, end times. And so I think those are some of the challenges that our schools are going to be looking at. They've gotten very well versed at online distance learning, but it's still very hard to keep our pupils really up to the standards that they need to be. And so it's hard, and state funding. Many of our school districts are seeing cuts in funding, and when you need to have teachers teaching two separate classes with the same curriculum, and you need to have enough supplies for all the children and all the students, it's a challenging time for each of our school districts.
Yeah, no doubt. How much time do we have left, guys?
30.
We have 30 seconds. If we can touch on this real quick, are there areas of your budget that you're going to fight hard to preserve?
Absolutely. We're going to continue for social services. We have so many people who have needed to sign up for benefits, who need that additional help. We're going to continue to work very hard with our homeless population. So many of them are now housed in motels within Contra Costa County.
On that word, I have to say thank you. Let's continue this another time. Take care. All right, back on air. Thank you so much for joining us today on this interactive show, Getting Answers. We heard today from the teenage organizers behind the Golden Gate Bridge March, and they didn't expect it to turn into thousands of people, but it did. And we're here every day at 3 o'clock on air on our live stream, so I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Making the time. See you again. I seriously love that backdrop. So peaceful looking at the beautiful hills in Coco County.
No, and I have a friend who's a photographer who did it for me. So see you later.
Okay, bye-bye. All right, I guess I have a tease. Eric, good show, good show. Well, that's